Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe they are claiming it is a worker shortage out here? During the pandemic, there are still a lot of people that want to work, believe it or not. So, this is the Business Insider. America's companies are struggling to hire workers back. It risks derailing the economic recovery. Well, even if you got the whole place back, it would take a while for the economy to catch up. So, this is April 11th, 2021. The positive March job report showed a country on the brink of full reopening with good news for the economy around the corner. But just opening isn't enough for a full recovery. There is no guarantee that people whose jobs have been permanently eliminated will be able to find work elsewhere. Nancy Winden. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, they're saying at the same time there is a risk that the labor force participation won't return what was the prior where we were, the level that we were prior to the pandemic. That's not going to return. We might still experience shortages of workers. And you know what? People ain't going to get those same salaries either, because many of these jobs are going to use the pandemic as justification for giving you less money. Filling the hole in the labor market will take more than, they're saying, reaching 3.5% unemployment rate and recouping every lost payroll, she said. The country was adding roughly 200,000 jobs a month before the pandemic, meaning the labor market will have to get back to the February 2020 level and then some to reach maximum employment. The U.S. began the climb in the earnest last month, and they said they added 916,000 non-farm payrolls, blowing the median estimate of 660,000 gained out of the water. So the unemployment fell 6% from 6.2%. So it fell to 6%. Marching economists forecast still far above the 3.5% pre-pandemic rate. Experts are bracing for several months of outsized job gains as consumers thaw the frozen economy. This is what they're saying. While consumer demand shows signs of coming back, other signs point to an imbalance between job openings and Americans actively seeking work. Jobless claims, however, have been volatile in the recent months and give a clearer hint at deep scarring. Filings fell to the pandemic era low of 658,000 in March, but rose to 744,000 last week, signaling persistent challenges in hiring. So it's going to be a lag, even if they got the whole place open. But if you checked out Michigan, The governor is getting ready to shut everything down again because their numbers are too out of control to stay open. Some of the world's top economic policymakers are warning of long term scarring of the labor force that reopening can't address. Countries will need to think well in advance of what a post pandemic economy will look like. So, as to add jobs where they're going to be. So, well, I mean, look, worker shortage. Woo. Mm-mm-mm. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell echoed her remarks, noting that millions of Americans will struggle to find work as they need a climate to a permanently change labor force. Yeah, I mean, even if you get back out there, it is not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same wherever you go. The real concern is that long term unemployment can allow people's skills to atrophy, their connections to the labor market to dwindle, and to have a hard time getting back to work. It's important to remember we are not going back to the same economy. It will be a different economy. Even the businesses set to benefit most from the reopening are running into snags. Staffing at full service restaurants remain down 20%, or 1.1 million openings from a year ago level, according to data from the National Restaurant Association. Owners and managers interviewed by the New York Times attribute the persistent shortfalls to the lack of available workers. Others say their former employees chose to stay out of the workforce but subsist on expanded unemployment benefits. The country's most densely populated areas are also experiencing slow recoveries. Government data shows Los Angeles and New York held the highest February unemployment rate of the 51 major metropolitan areas, 9.9% and 9.8%, respectively. This kind of high unemployment in densely populated cities is bad news for the economic recovery, as the longer that the engines of the pre 2020 economy lies dormant, the further away lies a return to a kind of normal, unless a new normal rapidly takes its place. These people are in for a rude awakening. Everything they're doing now is going to kill their summer. you know but they're so anxious to get back out here, they're willing to ignore everything and risk everyone's life just to get it back. But no matter how much you try to fight a pandemic that you did not conquer, it's going to keep coming back to haunt you. You can best believe it. You are not going to have the summer that you think you're going to have. The government acknowledges risk associated with weak spending and acted on them. The $1.9 trillion stimulus measure approved by President Joe Biden in March was the largest relief package to hit the U.S. economy since the CARES Act was passed. In the first months of the pandemic, Americans received support in the form of stimulus checks and bolstered unemployment benefits to boost, set to supercharge spending and overall demand as the economy reopened. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they're saying despite the fact that stimulus checks were given out to the recipients in this country for, you know, just for relief during the pandemic, according to researchers at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, that less than the share spent from the CARES Act or $600 payments issued in January, about 43% of payments were saved. So people didn't run out and spend their money. So getting this stimulus did not give the American economy the big boost they were looking for. So all these people running around, well, if you get the money, you want to get a boost in the economy. That didn't happen. It did not happen. You did not get this big old boost in the economy. All right. Though those savings can be unwounded over time, they do little to aid the recovery in the near term. The remainder of the checks is expected to go towards paying down debts. As the economy reopened and fear and uncertainty receded, the high levels of saving should facilitate more spending in the future. However, a great deal of uncertainty and discussion exist about the pace of the spending increase and the extent of pent up demands. Stimulus passed through 2020 already. Let me just go down a little. Hold on one second. There's one. Okay. People's savings grew by $1.6 trillion since the last March, according to the New York Federal Reserve. But the sum of the largely staying in the bank instead of moving throughout the economy, Americans who held onto their jobs haven't increased their spending activity, even though their savings increase. The Fed researcher said on Monday. Limitations to how much people can dine out or go on vacation will also curb a surge in consumer spending. So just looking over the overall outlook, you know, they're hoping to jumpstart this economy, and they're gonna end up being too sick to do it. I mean, look, they were talking about a week ago, oh, this place is reopening and that place is reopening, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and it's surging all around the country. Coronavirus is surging everywhere. What are you going to do in the workplace with a bunch of sick people? That's all I'm asking. And you still got an active pandemic with all kinds of variants out here, and you expect this economy just to jumpstart. And I guess these folks are just so delusional. They think they're going to ignore a virus that they can't conquer. Well, we can't conquer it, so let's just get up every day and ignore it. That ain't going to work. But you will learn soon enough. You're setting yourself up for a major fall. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.